Hello guys, welcome to another Blender tutorial in which we will see how to create this flannel shirt material procedurally inside Blender. This is the final file you can see right now. This is the node setup. Let's start with the fresh new Blender file. Let me delete all these things and let me quickly set up our scene, which is nothing fancy, just a cloth simulation on a sphere. I'm gonna apply the transformation for this plane and go to edit mode, search for subdivide. I'll set the number of cuts to be 100 and I'll make sure to unwrap this plane in this stage only. Now I just have to go to our physics panel, give it a cloth simulation, change some settings, increasing these quality steps, come to collision, increase this step as well and enable self collision. Under cache, I'm just gonna make it to default settings and I'll wait for the results. Alright, so our baking process has completed. Now I'm gonna play this animation and stop it just here. Yeah, this frame looks good. I'm gonna give it a subdivision modifier, subdivision surface modifier. I'm gonna shade it smooth and I'm gonna give this a solidify modifier as well. I'm gonna put solidifier before subdivision. I'm gonna increase the thickness a bit, okay, and I'm gonna apply this cloth modifier, delete this wave from inside. Now I'm gonna set up the lighting of this scene. First let me switch to Cycles render engine. Now I'm gonna set up the lighting for this scene through an HDRI which I have downloaded from polyheaven.com. I'll put the link in the description. It's called Polyheaven Studio 2K. I'm gonna open this file and I'm gonna set transparency on for this. Now let's jump to the shader editor. Yeah, here, and give this a new material. Now first thing first, I want all of you to go to edit, preference and search for node wrangler add-on and make sure you have this add-on enabled before starting this project, before we want to see each node individually. So once that's done, let's jump to our shader editor and the first node we're gonna add is wave texture node. There it is. I'm gonna add this. I'm going to press Ctrl Shift and click on this node to view it separately and go to render view mode. This is how it looks. I'm gonna come to this node again and I'm gonna click Ctrl T to get my mapping and texture coordinate nodes and I'm gonna switch it from generated to UVs. There it is. Now what I'll do, I'll scale down this wave texture to 2. Also, I don't want any details, so I'm gonna set it to 0. Now I'm gonna duplicate this wave texture one more time, but not like this. I'm gonna duplicate it while pressing Ctrl Shift D to make the connections intact. Now let me just view this wave texture and I'm gonna change its axis from X to Y because I want to join these two textures. So for that, let me add a mix color node. You can find it here. You can search for any node by pressing spacebar and just type the name of that node. Now let me connect this one there and the second one in B and view it separately. Okay, so this is not the result we want. I'm sure you guys also don't want this result. You will want a sharper result than this. So what we'll do, we'll add a math node, set it to greater than and keep the threshold to 0.5. Now this is what we want and it's working fine. Now let me duplicate this greater than math node and place it here. And this is the final result we want and I'm lacking this. So we're gonna work with this. Now I'm gonna give it some color. As you can see, it has 3 different variations. The pure black, the pure white and a grayish tone in between. So what I will do, I will add a color ramp node and I will move the white slider to the left till where I can see only the black part on my mesh, like this. I guess this is fine. I can only see the black patches. Now we have done this, we want something for the grayish area as well. So I'm gonna duplicate this color ramp node by pressing Ctrl Shift D to keep the connections intact. I'm gonna view this node separately. Now I'm gonna change this white color to fully black and move this slider fully to the right side and change its color to white. Now I'm gonna move this black slider little bit to the left so I can get that gray color. Yeah, now I'm happy with this result. As you can see, the gray color is looking fine. Now what I'll do, I'll mix this color ramp by adding a mix color node, and I'm gonna connect this color ramp color output to the factor input of mix node, and I will set the first color to be pitch black. Now I'll set the second color, which will be the main color of my flannel, to dark blue because I'm making a blue flannel for this tutorial, so I'm gonna give it a royal dark blue color. You can change the color of this afterwards also, as it's a procedural material, it's non-destructive. I'm gonna keep this blue. I like this. I'm gonna make it darker and little bit a royal blue color. Now what I'll do, I'll duplicate this mix color node and drop it here and connect the second color ramp output to the factor of the new mixed color node and change its color to a lighter blue to get this flannel effect you can see right now. As you can see, our flannel material base color is almost ready and it is looking pretty fine. Now if we make it go through our principal BSDF, this is how it looks. As you can see, our base color is ready. Now let's make bump and roughness map. So now for the bump, let's create another wave texture. I'm gonna view it in render view mode. Okay, let's hit Ctrl T to get mapping and texture coordinate node. Change it to UV, and this time I'm gonna set the scale to 300 and I'm gonna set the distortion level to around 7 and I'm gonna set the details all the way to 15. This is the pattern we want for the bump. As you can see, the wavy lines. I'm gonna duplicate this while holding Ctrl Shift and D and change its axis to Y so we can get that crisscross pattern once. I'm gonna add a mix color node right here. I'm gonna connect it. Now we're gonna make this bump texture a little bit contrasty by adding a color ramp and sliding the sliders closer to each other to make that crisp contrast black and white pattern. As you can see, I guess this is looking fine. Let me slide it more. Now let's add a bump node, connect it here, make sure it's in the height output, and let me connect this to the normal input of principal BSDF, and this is how our material is looking. We have to decrease its strength obviously. I'm gonna set it pretty low to around 0.1. This is the result I want. You can set it according to your need. Now let's come to roughness map. For that, I'm gonna duplicate this color ramp while holding Ctrl Shift and D and I'm gonna view it. I don't want these black patterns because I don't want it to shiny, so I'm gonna reduce them, and also I'm gonna make this black color almost white, a little grayish tone, so my final material will not be shiny. Now I'm gonna connect it to the roughness channel and view it. Okay, this is the final flannel material and it's looking pretty fine. Let me give it a sheen value of 1 and also a sheen tint of 1 to make the edges of this a little bit softer. So this is how you can make flannel material in Blender. Of course, you can change its color from here. Make sure to put the darker value in this column, like I'm putting darker red color in here right now, and the lighter value of the same color in this to make them blend properly and give you a nicer result. Thank you for watching the video guys. I hope you like it. Please like, share and subscribe for more such tutorials, and I'll see you in the next video.